Hello and welcome to the Stamping Society's May tutorial bundle, in which we are featuring products from the new Stampin Up annual catalogue. I'm Angela Meiritz-Reid of Stampin' Beauty in Christchurch, New Zealand, and today I'm sharing my tutorial using the Bottled Happiness stamp set. If you would like to purchase the written tutorials for all our projects, please click on my blog link where all the information is for the tutorials, including all the products and measurements to create our projects. If you live in New Zealand and would like copies of the current catalogues, please message me. I'd love to send them to you. Okay, so we'll get started. For my card, I've got a basic white card base, and then the next layer I'm using a piece of Balmy blue. I'm going to cut it down, and I'm using this background stamp here, and I'm going to emboss it just in white, or clear actually. I'm just going to use a Versamark ink pad. I'll just pop this, layer it up, just the foam matting for the photopolymer stamp set, and that just to keep my foam mat clean. And then I'm just using the leaf image in here, and I'm just going to stamp that, just ink it up really well, stamp that randomly over the background. And I won't need to go right into the middle because I'm going to be popping the other image on there. So just twist it around a little as I go so I don't get the same images in the same places. Just need to work reasonably quickly, so we'll be adding the clear embossing powder on top. Just add those. Won't matter too much in here if there's a bit of overlapping, because it won't be seen. And then just want to add the clear emboss. It just will give it then a shiny look to the background. So I just need to add that onto the images I've stamped. And as I say, just working reasonably quickly to avoid the ink drying out. I did re-ink my Versamark in the hope to, that it wouldn't dry out too quickly. And then I'm just going to emboss, heat set that, so it won't be a moment. So as you can see, it's created some lovely shiny images on the background there. So I want to trim that down just to make it fit onto the card. And the reason I stamped it first, just to make sure that I didn't get any funny edges, or and then I can trim off areas that I'm not quite as happy with. Just got that trimmed down to 10 centimeters, so it's just 5 millimeters off. And actually I might take it off this edge here. So that will sit nicely onto the card front, just with giving a nice wee frame around it. And then the next part I'm going to stamp is I'm going to create a floral image in the middle, and this is going to be die cut with this die. So I've got a bit of an idea that I want that this floral image to be fairly near the top. So I'm going to stamp the same background image, and I want that to be near the top, and that is going to be stamped in Granny Apple Green. So this is the easy part. So I'm just going to, if you work with a bigger piece of cardstock, you've probably got a bit more room. You don't have to worry so much. And then this is the next layer here, and these images slot in. So I'm not sure how well you can see that, but where the gaps are in the middle of the flowers, that's where they go in here. So that's going to line up like that. So it's a little tricky, but hopefully will be good to go. So I'm going to colour all these images in different colours. So I'm going to start with the polished pink in the middle for these bigger flowers, and I did find that if you hold it up and look through, it is easier than leaving it lying on the desk. So I just want to use this side of this Stampin' Right marker just because it will colour the flowers a lot quicker. Just want to avoid the other images in there because I'm going to colour those with the different coloured markers. So once you've got everything coloured, you want to go on with the next colour, and you need to work reasonably quickly because it will start to dry off. So these sort of little circular flowers and those tiny little crescent shaped ones, just doing those in the pale papaya. You almost can't see it, but it is there. And then I'm using the Fresh Freesia for these sort of grapey looking flowers. And then before you go ahead and stamp it on, just give it a little huff so it just moistens it a little bit, and then you need to line it up. And so what you want to do is, just going to move that over here a little bit, hopefully you can still see it. So line those up so those little green centres are in the centre of the flowers. You just have to juggle a little bit just to tilt things down and around and make sure everything's in the right place, and then give a good firm press. And yay, that worked well, so that's good. And then the next thing I'm going to do is stamp the bottle image, and I'm just going to pop that down here and do that in Balmy blue. And I want to make sure that's straight, and about there I think that works. And then next thing I'm going to do is die cut that. Just going to die cut this now with the rectangle die. If you were worried about placement of the image on the die cut, you could always die cut it first, because they're photopolymer stamps on this one. So while I'm here, I'll just die cut this little label. This is from the Succulent dies. It's got some great labels in it. Sorry for that wobble. See? So I'll bring that in too. We'll use that to stamp the sentiment onto there. So we've got our card base and now our rectangle die. Just gently pull that out of there. What I want to do too is just flick some of the Balmy blue ink over this, just to break up the white a little bit. Not too much. And then I want to mount this onto the card front. So I'm just bringing some dimensionals. And hopefully I've got all those off. Yes. And then I want to pop this on. Well, that's not on yet, so get it nice and straight. Hopefully that is good to go. And then I want to pop that onto my card front. Just use the glue for this. Just pop that on there, so you can see there's just a little white frame around it, which I like because it ties in with the white on the die. And then I'll do this sentiment, so I'm sending a little message, so it just fits perfectly in there. Let's get that nice and straight as well. And I just want to pop that in there on an angle, and I'm going to add a bow, so I'll just put a couple of dimensionals there. I want it about here, and then the bow, just get that out of the way. Bow, I'm using this, my favourite, the crinkly ribbon. And that is my usual, about 36 centimetres. And I wanted to make a double bow, and if you're not very confident about doing that, I find this quite a good way of doing it, excuse me, is popping that there and then just twisting that about the size of the loops you'd like. See, and just placing it down like that. You can adjust it a little bit later. And then I'm going to add some of the white twine as well, just to add a bit of interest. Loop that around too. Actually, that's a bit shorter, so I'll just hold that up a bit. That out there. And then I'm just going to bring these pieces in and tie a knot. Just give a really firm tug. You could do a double knot. I just don't want to add too much bulk to it. And then you've got these dangly bits and your two loops there. And then you can just trim that down a little bit. can have a play once it's actually on the card too. So I just want to pop a glue dot just about here, just at the neck of the bottle. See, it's not going to, make sure that stays, yes. And then I just want to pop this onto there. Tuck that. Yeah, so you can make it smaller if you don't want it covering quite as much of the floral arrangement. And just trim these off a little bit more. Same on this side. And then lastly, just want to add some pearls. I thought pearls would look pretty on there because it's sort of an elegant looking card with the flowers. I don't like that, it's not doing what I want it to do, so I'm just going to, that's what the glue dots are handy, if you just roll them up, and just going to, I take your pick tool, just take that up there. I'm just going to tuck it in there. Mixing, then it will just sit a bit better. And then I'll use the other end and just add some pearls. Just add these smaller ones, just a couple down here. And one up there. And that is my card. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as I said earlier, the link to the written tutorials for purchasing the tutorial bundle will be on my blog, and the link to my blog will be down below. So thanks again, take care, bye.